Hey guys, Miss Farron here. We are going to look at Unit 1 notes for solving inequalities. So solving inequalities is going to be very, very similar to solving our equations that we've been doing. Same steps. There's one extra little thing you have to remember with doing inequalities and solving. But the answer that you get kind of means something a little different. So let's take a peek at this question here and see what that answer really means. So determine what makes a statement true. So we're going to do this the non-mathematical way, just kind of the puzzle way. We're just going to plug numbers in and see if they work. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to check 5. Okay, so I'm just going to check 5 here. So if I plug in 5 and I get 2 times 5 plus 4, and we want to see if that is less than or equal to 18. Okay, this is our less than symbol or equal to symbol. Okay, so when I do this, 2 times 5 is going to give me 10. Plus 4 is going to give me 14, is less than or equal to 18. If you think back, some of you might have been taught like the alligator eats the bigger number. Is the alligator eating the bigger number in this situation? It is. So this number, 5, does work in this situation. So let's go ahead and let's try 7. 2 times 7 plus 4, is that going to be less than or equal to 18? So 2 times 7 is 14, plus 4 is going to give me 18, is less than or equal to 18. Okay, we can't check the alligator in this situation, but this equal to sign here tells me that 18 is equal to 18. So that is a true statement. So 7 also works. So we know that 5 works and 7 works. So now let's just check 8. Let's just see what happens if we plug 8 in. So 2 times 8 plus 4, let's see if that's less than or equal to 18. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20. That is not less than or equal to 18, so that one does not work. So 8 does not work. So basically, when you're looking at inequalities, so any of the less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, those types of problems, you are going to find multiple solutions that actually work if you were to just plug numbers in. Whereas when you had an equal sign, there was only the one solution that worked. So the questions that you need to ask yourself, 1 through 4, are the same questions that we've been dealing with when solving equations. So you're just going to pretend like you're solving a regular equation. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is at the end, if you are dividing by a negative number, okay, if you're dividing by a negative number, then that inequality symbol flips. Okay, so let's get into some examples and see what we have. Here's my inequality that I have. Okay, first things first, there are not multiple x's. There's no distributive property, so I can go straight to what's being added or subtracted. So this 13 is actually being subtracted from that 4x, or is subtracting that 4x from it. But this 13, remember, look in front of it is positive, so to get rid of a positive 13, we subtract 13. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So I am left with that negative 4x is going to be less than or equal to 27 minus 13 is going to give me 14. So now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish solving this by dividing by negative 4. What you do to one side, you have to do the other. Now here, I'm dividing by a negative number. Right there is that negative number. So that tells me that I am going to have to flip my sign. So from being a less than equal to, it's going to be a greater than or equal to. 14 divided by negative 4 is going to give me negative 3.5. So all solutions that are going to work for this inequality up at the top are any numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 3.5. That's what this answer is telling me. Let's go ahead and look at the next one here. Solving just like normal, all the variables have to be on the same side. So I'm going to move the 4y over to the other side. You could move the 9y, but then you'd end up with a negative, and I don't like negatives. So I'm going to get 5y plus 5 is going to be greater than 15. So get rid of whatever is being added or subtracted. We're going to subtract 5. So 5y is going to be greater than 10. Divide by 5. So y is greater than 2. Any number that is greater than 2 is going to work in this inequality up here at top. Let's look at this one now. I have that distributive property happening, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do negative 20w because negative 4 times 5. And then negative 4 times negative 8 is going to give me a positive 32 is greater than or equal to 52. So we'll keep solving. I'm going to subtract that 32 from both sides. So I'm going to end up with negative 20w is greater than 20. Divide by negative 20. So I'm going to get w. Remember, I divided by that negative number right there. So I have to flip that sign. And that's going to tell me w is going to be less than negative 1. So any number less than negative 1 will make this inequality true. Last example here, we have everything thrown at you. So distributive property. The 5 in this problem is not attached to the parentheses. The 6 is. So the 6 is what we're distributing. So 3 times 7 is going to give me 21. 3 times negative 2 is going to be minus 6x. Less than 5 plus 6 times x is going to give me 6x. 6 times 4 is going to give me 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine like terms right away. On this side, I have a 5 and a 24. I can put those together. So I'm going to get 21 minus 6x is going to be less than 6x plus 29. Okay, so because they're on the same side, I can just add them together right away. So now I'm going to move my x's to this side. I'm going to actually move this negative 6x to the other side. So since it's a negative, I'm going to add it. So I'm going to end up with 21 is less than 6x plus 6x is going to give me 12x plus 29. So we can subtract 29 from both sides. So when I do that, I'm going to bring it on up here. I'm going to end up with a negative 8 is going to be less than 12x. So I'm going to divide by 12. So I'm going to get x is greater than negative 8 divided by 12 is going to give me negative 0.67. So now I usually like the x on the left-hand side. If I'm going to do that, this answer is not wrong, so I could box that and be done. But if I'm going to put the x on the left-hand side, we're just going to flip the entire thing. So I'm going to put the x on the left-hand side. I'm going to flip the sign, and then I'm going to put the answer on the right-hand side. Either or is going to be fine. All right, we are done with the notes for today. If you have any questions, come up and chat with me or send me that Schoology message if we're not in the room. Good luck.